I'm Renee, the practical shaman, and I'm very excited about today because yesterday I sent the editor a very fully marked up copy of The Practical Shaman, which goes to the publisher this coming week. And for the most part, it was in pretty good shape. I had to look and search, like there were some words that, because it's a spiritual book, I used a lot. Like, I think the word spirit was in there 383 times, which is a lazy way of writing. Yesterday, I spent the day getting it down to 100 times and good descriptions about what I meant. And there was another word that I used quite a bit too, but since that was before spirit, energy. We just assume that energy field, all of this stuff it doesn't really explain. It doesn't really tell you what or where you want to go. I thought that I would read something to you from the book to start out today. And because this is why I teach, this is the reason that we plant seeds. This is the reason that we show up for things like the Winter Solstice Symposium. And I want to thank everybody who's here because you all help support it. It's one of those things that every year I say, oh, how am I going to pay the video guy? Or why do I keep doing this? And I think I keep doing it because I keep healing. I told some people I had a miracle happen, or which I perceived was a miracle. And usually miracles are things that are really surprises to us. Somebody who hadn't talked to me in 3 years wrote to me right at the very end of the fire ceremony. And it was an important moment for me because it was a vision, it was a seed that I had planted. It was something that I had put into the earth that when it was time, it would bloom. And even during the fire, I was still up north and there was this gift on my shelf that I had purchased for this person. And I'm there like, I held it in my hand and I'm there like, well, I'm just going to put it in the other room. It's not time. And then, so that was always a really nice thing. And the funniest thing about the fire is that whatever's going to show up usually shows up when I get to the Painfield airport. So sure enough, I'm at the airport. I don't know if it was 2 years ago. I think it was 2 years ago. I get the call that said, oh, so and so sister, I hate to tell you this, but my brother just died in your house. That was like, that was the smithy. I called the fire, that big fire cauldron. I have my smithy. And every time I light it, something happens. This time, it wasn't a death, it was a rebirth. So I'm happy about that. But this little reading from my new book is called What Kind of Ancestor Are You Becoming? This question, carried in the teachings of many indigenous elders, is more than philosophical. It's a call to action. Every choice we make, what we consume, how we treat others, what we heal or avoid, ripples outward across time. To live consciously is to accept responsibility for those who will inherit the world shaped by our decisions. Traditionally, shamans have always been the stewards of their communities, which they serve by attending to the four foundational areas of community: life, health and well-being, sustainability, the relationship with nature, and communication with spirits. These are the roots of community that enable it to survive and flourish through the passage of time and in the face of changing conditions. As practical shamans, assuming the responsibility of community stewardship means committing ourselves to maintaining harmony and balance, which begins by creating those conditions within ourselves and then sharing our presence. We must emulate trees. Trees gather strength from what lies beneath the surface. An oak tree does not resist the wind, it meets it, yielding and adjusting while deepening the hold of its roots on the earth. Each gust tests its flexibility and strength. The same is true for us. When we root ourselves in what sustains life, we can adjust even as the world shifts around us. And that is the theme for today's work that we're going to be doing. And as a lot of because you've been here with me all week. Right before I lit the fire, a tree fell, 100-foot hemlock fell in my yard and took off the fascia of my guest house. It's a rental on my other property of the house I built. And I looked at those roots. And I don't know if you've ever, one of those trees topple over, they make a huge dent in the earth. Like you could probably hop in it and it'd be around up to your waist or higher. And yet the roots seem to not go deep like this oak tree root. They seem to spread out. They seem to be more connected outward. And it was like a kind of a question for me is, what is this rooted to? What is this connected to? And there's other pine trees right on the other side of the fence. This was in the yard of a house I just sold. So it was the house that I had used to live in was fell over into my other lot, and it sounds like I'm a property mogul, but that aside, it's all a juggle. It's all a gyroscope juggle. Like just we all have our juggles, whatever they are. That was my juggle. So this today we're going to talk about a gyroscope. We're actually I have a lot to cover, so I better shut up. I'm going to talk about the gyroscope. I created a spread that I'll send to you and you can do afterwards if we don't have time to fully go through the whole thing, because I really want to create this. I want to have this time that we can visit with each other, but I also want to take you on this journey where we anchor ourselves not into one anchor, but several anchors like a gyroscope, so that when the world gets a little more wobbly, that the seeds that we plant have places to hold on to that's not relying on one dominant source like this oak tree that or this pine tree that went into the ground. It looked like it was rooted in one source and had 100 feet up in the air. It's flapping in the breeze. So we need to look at those. Okay? We need to look at those in our life. I'm going to start by, let's do a wind breathing because I haven't seen that happen too much. And I'm going to have to go back and forth between audios. If you're new to this work, our wind breath is that we breathe in, we hold it to the count of 5 to 7, we breathe out, and we stay empty because it's in this emptiness that the magic occurs. Magic doesn't occur when we're pushing against the tree or the river or the energy that's out there. It happens in the gap. It happens between this and this. There's a gap. And I call that gap the place where the creation happens. It's in the creation happens between the seeds hidden. It's in that little gap because that's where spirit comes in. That's where spirit helps us because those are the things that we don't even know. And we like to think that, oh, I can manifest this and I can put this out into the world and everything. So last year I was going to put the Windwalker Wisdom Oracle and a Pilgrim's Guide to Walking Wisdom into the world. And that was going to be my year. That's what I was planting. Those are the seeds I was planting. I am going to promote this because look at, I sold 700 boxes over Christmas a year ago. And then boom, I got a book contract. So the last 26 weeks has been writing a book. So that's in the gap. That's between those ideas of mine and what I want to see in the world and then what spirit has planned. And that's why we need to anchor ourselves into other places that aren't our best ideas of what our seeds were planting. Because it's always this or something better. This or something aligned to my higher good. All right, let's start with our breathing. We're going to do 3 of them. Oh, that's great, Jean. Let's breathe in. Stay empty. Call to Boreas, the north wind, the wind that lives beyond the furthest mountain, my solstice wind. Ask for your winds of, ask for your seeds of stewardship for this next wind breath in. What seeds am I planting in my life? And let's breathe that out. And on that last wind breath out, that it's the seed that connects us all. It's how we connect. We connect is what you're planting for your seeds of resilience are that multiply from my seeds. We have a farm. Imagine a big, large garden of all of our seeds being planted today and being supported by everybody else who's here, all the people who will listen later, and how wonderful that is. Jean just looked up hemlock and was surprised to see it symbolizes strength and resilience. How very curious that a tree would fall over when we're having an event, a ceremony around resilience, and someone reminded me, oh, that tree is still there. That spirit of the tree is still there. And I'm thinking, in my best thinking, I'm thinking, yeah, it's all rounded up in the yard waiting for the neighbor to come take it after the holidays to use for firewood. So it is still there. It's in its new energy form. It's going to be providing fuel for somebody else's fire. So a gyroscope on a ship is a spinning. What it does is it has a solid anchor. That's your rooted anchor that connects you to spirit. But as the ship moves and turns, it moves and turns so that it doesn't lose its balance and it can keeping track of things. And so this is our work right now for how we become more resilient, is to see ourselves as gyroscopes, as people who can turn and bend with the wind. During COVID, I was out for a walk and I realized at that point, and it's when the world really started to wobble, was that one anchor, that solid anchor that I had from the root up to the sky wasn't enough. Just wasn't enough. So in my yard or my neighborhood, I found two other places that I could anchor myself. And one was to this mountain that I've lived near in Palm Desert for 25 years. And the other was to this tree that I could visit every single day. So they were concrete places that I could do an invisible line to, that as the world started to bend and tilt, that whatever I was planting could continue to attend to its magnetic north. Could it be attending to this is where we're heading, and it's being held in more than one place? Does that make sense to people? So what I'd like to do is I'd like to take us on a journey, because we're living in a time of chaos. Now, I don't judge it, whether it's good or bad. It's just a time of chaos. And one of the things about nature is nature continues to be nature. We've tried to make it friendly. We've tried to anthropomorphize it. We've tried to do all of these things, and but it's nature. It has its own rhythm. It has its own hot and cold, stormy, silent nature. And since we're the inhabitants, we're the ones that have to we're the ones that have to adjust, because all of our best attempts as human beings to control it has really not done very well for us. We might be speeding up the heating of the planet. We polluted the waters. And I was reading this book. It's a really good book. I don't know where it went to. Oh, it's called Nature's Ghosts. And I really recommend it because it talks about how the inhabitants of the earth have been shaping the future direction of the earth forever. The megaflora, and then when there was the half ape, half humans, and fires, all of we've been really shaping the nature of the earth since the get-go. We just think we have more power over it now, but we've been doing it since the beginning. But one thing that really struck me was that she mentioned that extinction is forever. And let's go with that idea of extinction of your own dreams and ideas. That think of the ideas and the seeds that you've planted in your own life that you've extinguished. Close your eyes and think about that. Is what seeds did I bury, burn? Sometimes we leave them between the paper towels too long and they get moldy. What seeds in your own life have you extinguished that meant something to you? I call those regrets. Because if they still have meaning and you extinguish the seed, then it could be something that could go on a regret list or a regret inventory, which people who have studied with me during the year know that's part of the Finish the Year Strong program, is looking at your regrets. Because it's hard to move forward when we're clinging, when we have one of our anchors to the past. So when we do this journey, if there's seeds that you need to really let spin away, that would be a good time to do it. What have you planted and then you go out and tug at the shoot at night? Like that you just want to make it grow. So that you pull it and you probably pull it right out from the roots. And then think of the things in your life that you've planted and then you walked away from, and then they grew at their own time. Like this book, The Practical Shaman. I got really discouraged after I sent it to the agents and they're all like, no. Then out of the blue last year, this woman called me up and said, I want to rep this book. I think it's your turn. And I'm like, what do I got to lose? And she got me the book deal. But I had already thought that it was something else. So what seeds have you put into the earth that are still waiting? Because seeds grow when conditions are right. And none of these seeds have anything to do with about who you are. Who you are is a spiritual being with this Cadillac of a body. Some of us have Toyotas and some of us have Fords that are falling apart. But this is the vehicle that takes your spirit on this journey, your body. But your spirit has And Erica, there's somebody in the Windows Gmail that, can you let them in, or did you send it to them? Sorry. So, you sent it? Okay, perfect. All right. I'm really sorry. I'm not in my normal studio, which I have a lot more control over, so I will be moving papers and stuff. Sorry if it disturbs you, but I need my papers a little bit. So I don't have my mic or anything. I'm just at a friend's house. So what we're going to do is we're going to do that journey. And we're going to go in, we're going to look at seeds that we've planted. We're going to make sure that our central axis is connected into the earth. And then we're going to find 2 new connections. And one of them would be something that has held you for a long time, and something that 2 places that can anchor you in the horizontal. All right? Put me on mute while I shuffle. Alrighty. So this is going to be a drum journey, and it's not going to probably be, Nicole, Leanne?
Yeah, I just want to clarify different things for the journey. One seed that has held me
So you're going to
for
go
a long time. Is that help me back or help me up?
No, so those are your questions you're looking at when you're in the journey. But the
Okay,
anchor
thank
points that we're putting on is your inner anchor first, where you're really anchored. Your second anchor is your outer anchor. I'm going to give you 2 outer anchors and during this journey is, what do I want to one is, where can I connect to so when the world gets wobbly? So maybe a place in nature. So you'll have your inner anchor, a place in nature, and then we're going to set a third anchor, because this is a seed setting class, on what do you want to anchor to this year, this coming year, where you can put your intention. All right, and then we'll talk about it. You can all hear me? Can you hear my voice in the drum? So I invite you to close your eyes. Put both feet on the floor. Visualize those deep wind breaths we took. And let's take a deep exhale from that. Feel as the winds settle around you. And feel the earth beneath your feet or beneath your body. Imagine yourself at the center of a great big platform out in nature. This is your inner gyroscope. It's your energetic field that helps you stay balanced no matter what wind is blowing around you. The wind shifts. Time turns, life spins, but here in your center there's stillness. And from the center of this place, your core, drop a chord of light or strand of thread. Maybe you're bobbing all the way down into the core center of the earth. And then send that same cord all the way through your body up to the heavens. And see yourself spinning once or twice around on this thread, this bobbin. How freely but contained you are. Then ask, what truth inside me can steady me in the wind? What value, practice, or knowing roots me into 2026? No matter what wind is spinning, no matter how chaotic the world feels, what is this strand that's steadying me? Now feel the wind blowing around you. Are you unmovable? Can you bend a little bit? Can you move? Or are you taken off your center? Now let's place a second anchor. Let it come from your heart. Anchor it to some place in nature that's unmoving, that will be there no matter what wind blows. A mountain, a body of water, the sun, the moon. Find some place in nature that you can anchor yourself to, that you feel relatively sure will be there no matter what. Now feel that movement again when you're anchored at the core of your being and you're anchored from your heart. And now think of a seed you'd like to plant. Maybe there's one you've already planted, but if there's any that need to be removed, free them to the wind right now. Put them in your hand like a dandelion and blow them off and let them find their new home. But think of something that you want to plant. A that second anchor. You're planting a third anchor. And now move it across. If your heart is going one way, put this opposite. Send that thread so that you can move freely like a gyroscope on a boat. Something in nature holding you and a dream holding you. And meanwhile, you're anchored from spirit to the molten lava of the earth. But you're pliable. You can bend with the wind. You can change direction. But you're held. And as you're moving and bobbing with the wind, ask, what external expression calls to me now? What is calling me the loudest? Where shall I turn? And I want you to see yourself on that steady anchor, spinning, undoing everything from the last year, spinning counterclockwise. You're held, but you can spin. Once you're done spinning, double check your anchors. The one that's to the mountain or the solid body, and the one that's holding your dream. And shore them up if you need. Both of those anchors in place with the knowledge of you have your deep inner truth and that you're being held in time space. And feel, am I stabilized? Can I move and can I bend, but that I'm stable? This fluid harmony. And once you feel ready, everything's anchored, come back into the room. Make a few notes so you remember what's anchoring you, what's holding you, where you're heading to. Mhm. And for those of you who have your Oracle deck handy, pull 3 cards. What's wind is anchoring me now? What wind is assisting my my steady nature anchor? And then what wind is going to assist the seed that I'm planting, this thread that I put out into the ethers, that I'm anchoring myself to a new project or a new idea? What wind is holding that? For those of you who have another Oracle deck, feel free to use that. Huh, that's interesting. Uh, oh, so then the first one is, what is that steady card? What is that wind that's holding you steady through the center of your core that goes all the way from your upper higher self down into the belly of the earth, way in? What is that steady force in nature that you anchored yourself to, that landmark that's holding you? And the third one is, what have you anchored yourself into the future for this coming year? That one's kind of more nebulous because that's more movie. It's more fluid. Look what I got for the center anchor. Does that not look like my platform? With the center of it in the middle, with the top going down into the belly of the, you can't plan this stuff. So if you don't have the Oracle deck, you can use mine for sure for today and see yourself for the center of you. In what holds you firm is the suspended action of the doldrums, the south-southwest, which means for me that it's work that we've already done. It's coming into the harvest, so that I've already done the hard work of the emotional work there, and I'm being held into the harvest. And then I visualize this mountain that holds me. It's a very good solid anchor for me. And so I got the northwest, the regular wind of support, which is steady, unwavering resolve. So if you're using the cards that I got for yours, then you can use this wind of support, and to know that whatever you've anchored yourself into is that you get to, it's really holding you, it's supporting you. So even when the rest of the world feels wobbly, go to that space, put your hands on the mountain, visualize to your mountain, pull that cord over. And I know in Peru they do this in a really hearty way, where they have a mountain, their own. I should have had you pick a mountain because they have their own mountain, but I didn't want to influence your journey, but I should have. I could have, should have, would have. And then my wind of my dream, of of what I'm anchoring my dream into this year. And as you might guess, for my dream for this year is about birthing these books, birthing this time of my life where I'm teaching through my books and my resources. It's about Shu. It's the ancient Egyptian god about grounding yourself in nature. So that other anchor for me based on this is that making sure that I take my wind walks, making sure that I'm grounded in this nature on a pretty regular basis so that the nature is informing the year. Now, there's, let me put me back. I'm putting me back. Where am I? What I'd like to hear from is some of you found what you found in your journey and what cards you might have pulled that sourced that, or did mine reflect for you, or where you're at. Want to tell us about them? Leanne, we have to pin you so we can see them. So Leanne has pushed this way. She has the facilitator. Oh, interesting. You got a resilient, the south east
Yep.
wind in the helm, the unpredictable forces of nature. Wow. So being able to be steady when things are unpredictable. Where do you hang your hat with that one? How did that resonate with you?
The first two definitely did. And I was like, okay, I'm totally in the zone. And then I was like, whoa, okay. So sometimes, just like when I got downdraft like a week or so ago, sometimes I definitely have to say the cards take my breath away and force me to think about things in a different way. And having this journey that we just did with the whole, I forget the word you used, I think it's a real test of that, the strength of that concept. And I feel very fortified by that and the three anchors and the gyrosphere to be able to have the confidence and the resilience.
Who, how many other you got the northeast, the southeast, got the intercardinal winds? How many people got intercardinal winds in their spread? Trish, okay. So just a few of us. So these intercardinal winds, of all things, they came out. I learned about them when I was doing research last year. And what I learned was that the gates of Samaria and Mesopotamia actually opened to the northeast, the southeast, the southwest, and the northwest. And so when if we're spinning on this axis, if the axis is changing, and we know that the poles are shifting, maybe that where we can find our strength is actually in anchoring to one of these intercardinal directions instead of the ones that we've always used, like we always had north, south, east, and west. But maybe we could be find some benefit in anchoring to something that's in the northeast of you or the south. And this is, I'm exploring this with you because none of us have been through this time before. Not this lifetime. And I don't remember that lifetime 14,500 years ago when the comet hit the planet. I might have been there, but I'm here now. And so maybe having this other anchor in one of the intercardinal directions would be really wise. So stand in your center and maybe anchor a second anchor over into one of these other directions. Just a thought, all right? I'm not telling you how to interpret these for yourself. Who else had something they'd like to share about? Deborah?
Yeah, I wanted to just bring that up while you're talking about this other anchor in another direction, because when we were doing our wind training, you had us do a journey where we tethered. And that whole piece of tethering has always been important for me. And I found the direction that I tethered in was southwest. And so I've always had this relationship with that kind of a tether. It's like a guideline or a guy wire on a ship that helps keep the mast straight. Okay, because the mast can't stay straight unless it's got those supports. And so mine are in the southwest. Sometimes I think they're a little bit in the southeast, but it's that direction. And interestingly enough, when I pull, so I do tarot, and I know when I get a card that I have a question about, I call again. So my first card here was, what's anchoring you? And I keep getting this card keeps coming. And here's this tempest. So I've just moved and I did the other two cards. And then I said, okay, show me more about this one because I do a lot of energy work around the national, political, and global scene as well. So sometimes I'm also tuning into that. So I pulled this, and the very next card, I'm not kidding, Renee, that I pulled was this. And I'm like, okay. And then I actually pulled one more to just see how we're doing. And here we are.
Oh, you're back to.
So it's being the anchor in the storms, which is what we're supposed to be right now. And so it just said to me, there's a lot going on. Pull on what you already have. Stay rooted in what you already have to be able to navigate what is going on and what will be going on. Okay. And then my sustainer here is hope.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. And then my dream and my forward motion, and this one keeps coming up again too, is Vayu, which is strength. And I'm literally, that's the card of my move. The month that we moved and purged the entire house of 30 years of stuff was Vayu. Again, but I love that whole idea of the tethering for me, which brings stability.
And that's what I was trying to do, was tether from the heart to a mountain and to a dream.
Yeah.
Why? I think something about yours. I'm muting you because then I don't reverb. What about somebody who's not as familiar with the wind work? Because we've heard from a couple of students who have done a lot of work with the wind. What about somebody who this is new for you? How do you interpret this?
Hey, this is Lynn.
Hi, then.
Hi, this is my first reading. I got your deck.
Oh, good. Oh, nice.
So the first one, Southwest Doldrums.
Oh,
And I just read in the book that it's a time to pause, I think.
yes.
And the anchor it feels peaceful to me. So to not push. So,
I love that one. That anchor, if we can get that anchor neutral, when I get neutral, things just, they can spin around me and I don't have to react. I can respond. And I get so much more when I just respond instead of react.
my second one is balance.
And where
Tamna,
did you anchor your second anchor to? The mind.
to the sun.
Okay. And that's an interesting one because you think about the sun's up balances through our vision, depending on where you live and stuff like that. But it shows sometimes it's there and sometimes you can't see it.
It's always there.
It's always there, but sometimes it's hidden from view. So that balance might be what you can see and what you can't see.
Ah, interesting.
So we have to look at we understand ourselves through symbols. Pick the sun. Boy, that's one to pick.
And my third one is connection. Is that Strasbourg? Or
Uh-huh. Strybog?
Stribog. Stribog.
Strybog.
Stribog. The message I kept getting was kindness to everything, everyone, everywhere. It's like an assignment for me.
And so a question is, and you don't have to go into specifics, but what did you put into the world that you'd like to create in 2026?
Physical health and connection with everyone.
Okay, so let me just say, like physical health, could it start by being more kind to yourself?
Yeah, I got
And
that.
and so these are related to how you are physically and things like that as your goals, your dreams, you know, that. Even like for me with Shu in the book, like one of the things that I had to learn with the first book was that I wasn't my book. It took me 6 years to write the next book. There's the other book in between and the cards, but to really write the next book because I took the first book very personally. And now I'm thought like, okay, I just was a channel for this book and it's going to reach the people it needs to reach. So I'm not setting myself up for the grand, the, I'm separating myself from it. And so that's for me, my lesson, but yours is about being kinder to yourself. In order to make those physical changes for your health, you have to be kinder to yourself, and you have the support to do that. Call upon that wind. I'd take a picture of that wind, I'd print it out, put it on the bathroom mirror, and look at it all year long. What we do in the Wind Clan is we pull a card for each year, each month, and make. I brought them out here, and we'll probably do this in January. We do prayer flags, and we put our wind for each month on the flag. And some people are really good at calling one in every month and sending one home at the end of every month. And some of us aren't as good at it, but it's a good practice to know that these are energies that are here to help us in our lives. Who else wants to go? I see Erica smiling. Let's see. Jean, did you have something that you wanted to share from that?
Yes, I think I would.
Okay.
Thank you for asking me.
Okay, I could tell.
I've done some work with the cards and the winds. I've had the deck for almost a year.
Nice.
This has been very powerful. So I just got this morning to listen to the Lighthouse from this week, and it was very interesting because though I got to the lighthouse, I actually identified myself as out in the middle of the ocean on a boat, and it was rough, and it's what the year has been. So my first card today.
I can't, hold on, we gotta bring,
Look,
let me see.
so it's expression.
Oh,
And I anchored for my first anchor. I anchored into my heart, but before I could anchor into the heart, I had to anchor the gut up to the heart and the voice down to the heart, and then do a single thread from the heart. The second anchor was on the ocean, although it was on the shore. And that one was the strong foundation, ancestors.
I love that. If you've read in Winds of Spirit, La Omomoa, they had the gourd. And what they would do is they had the 32 holes on the gourd, and then they would have this fabric. So you have 32 options of controlling the wind through plugging up the various holes. So that might be a really great, if you're at the ocean, to have a gourd with 32 holes in it. So you don't have to have all that wind blowing at you all the time, but you can move it in and out of your life.
Oh, that's great.
So you know that you can say, Taba, stop with the wind.
And then my third one was the shoe separation, connecting with nature. That felt really powerful too. Just a reminder I need to be getting out into nature every day.
Me too.
The beginning of COVID, I spent at least 15 minutes a day out doing forest bathing. And I did that for a couple of years and it's slipped away. And I need to get back to that, I think. And that one, I actually anchored to a tree.
When you just put up shoe, I was reminded that I have never ever gotten this card before.
I don't,
gotten this wind to work with ever before.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had it come up either. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yes.
That gives me, thank you. That gives me pause.
That's good. Thank you.
Great. Thank you for sharing. See, and you know what? Right after, I want to just point out, right after you anchored your heart to your voice, look at you shared.
Oh, I did.
Look
yes.
Look at how quick the winds helped you with that.
And I am notorious for staying quiet in the background. So
look at they like moved you right out of that comfort zone right away. So now that you've moved there, we want to stay there.
Yes, I got to find ways to do that more.
By walking in nature. Maybe you'll meet people when you're out in nature. You
Maybe.
Never know. To talk to.
Good. Thank you.
I made this an hour, but we're totally, Sharon, you got here late, but I'll send you the recording. So you'll get this But I'm happy to stay in here from another couple people, and if somebody has to leave, you can go. But I think this is important. So anyone else have anything? No? All right, you guys are. Oh, Trish.
I'll go after Trish. This is Kelly.
Okay. Oh, it's nice to hear you both.
Okay, I don't know what to say. So the first card for my main anchor was this one.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah. I like when the main anchor is solid, right? No,
Who doesn't?
going all over the place. Just nice and solid. And then my second anchor was deep into a mountain, but I got this.
Okay.
Oh, hang on. I'm trying to.
I see it.
Oh,
So Pazuzu, the disruptor.
yeah, that's nice. Like, really? Okay. Something else to work with. And then this card, oh my God, I've been getting it all month. And it was this card I pulled to what am I going to work with for the rest of the year, like for 2025. Tempest.
Oh.
And so going into Christmas, and I'm going, okay, so what's coming? 2 grandchildren showed up. Not for even a short stay. They're here for 8 days. So, okay, that's probably what it is. Plus, Nadia turns 10 tomorrow, and we have a surprise plan for her. But this is my goal. This is my seed. What the heck?
That, you know what? That makes sense to me because you've decided to go back to herbalism school. And so in order for you to go to herbalism school, you're going to have to shake up the whole family system, the whole sanctuary. Everything is going to have to be is going to have to shake apart in order for you to tend to that seed that's growing in you. And you've been the caretaker of everyone and everything. And so you're going to really have to get out in that boat and shake off what's no longer yours to tend to.
That's the plan. It's
Yeah.
there's a lot happening, and yeah, without going into too many details, it's everything's shifting.
Yeah, but so it makes sense that like the Maori, they went to battle with that wind. They went out to sea on that wind. So you really need, as you do this, you've got the strength to get through those rough seas. So I would turn them and look at them as how they're going to assist you to stay in that calm. She missed that. I said, I would look to see how those winds are going to help you stay in that doldrums, that calm. That the winds, you could be in the calm and the winds could be blowing around you, but it doesn't have to disturb your peace. That's the vision I'm going to hold for you. Kelly, we can't see you. Can you come on screen?
Unfortunately, when I got on my phone, somehow I canceled the picture part.
Okay.
So you just get my lovely voice.
It's nice to see you. It's nice to see you stepping back out with yourself.
Yeah, this last year has been one of the most horrendous years for me in so many different avenues. I have religiously relied on my cardinal wind and also my monthly winds. And it goes hand in hand with releasing the snake, the year of 2025 snake, going into 2026 with the horse. My wins that I have pulled, my cardinal win and my 12-month wins for 2026 are complementing everything I've already been doing this year to carry me through to next year. And the cards that I pulled from my anchors, which trusty old Boris, North Wind, my buddy.
You and Boreas have a thing.
Yes, yes. This last year, my cardinal wind was Zephyrus.
Okay.
So I have Ecatel, Passion for my second anchor, and my third anchor is Flexibility. And I'm sorry, I don't know this goddess's name.
Yatser.
Thank you. But everything is falling in place. I have so many positive things to look forward to. The most devastating, most of you may or may not know, but I lost my husband in June. That was the biggest transition for me this year. And it's been 6 months, and I've been very independent even before, but it's calm, it's good. I know he's still with me, my heart and my mind and my soul. So things have been going really well. So I'm very happy that I've been with the Winds for a long time now, and I heavily rely on them. And I hope anybody and everybody that hasn't been or is new to this, rock on with these Winds because they will move you. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Anyone else? She'll start her video later. Anyone else want to share, or Erica, go ahead.
Hi, everyone. Greetings. So happy to be here with everybody. For me, the journey was very visual. I could feel a lot. So I anchored to a mountain, and it was the mountain that came through the journey with Judy during the fire tenders gathering. And so I went back to that place, and it was even the same words were coming through of remember. And so I remembered that through my training, even before I got here to Windwork, that is where I went to recharge. That is where I went to connect with mentors, with teachers that were coming through from that other side. And so that's where I need to go back. And then as we were putting our anchors in and everything, it became a spider web. I was looking at a spider web, how it anchors itself to the nature it finds itself in. And I saw the spider and I became the spider. And I realized that I had droplets of water. I had food available for me in the web. And like a straw, if you could feel what it is to be liquid in a straw, I was sucked back out
Wow.
and the spider became small. And I realized that it was me in that place next to the mountain, looking at the spider in the web on the grass that was moving in the breeze of the wind. And
Wow.
that was amazing, right? So then I pulled my cards after that, all that visual stuff coming through. And so the first card is Southeast doldrums, suspended action, right? And then from here it goes to crosswinds, realignment, disruption, and redirection. And then for my seeds, it is cyclone, upheaval, wind, whirlwind of fate, unstoppable forces. And these cards make me shake a little bit, Renee.
It's okay, but think about a cyclone picking up all those seeds you've been planting, and they're going to take them over to Vermont and to California and to Canada. Like maybe a cyclone's going to come in to shake up the seeds so that they can get spread out a little further. I think it feels like a good thing.
It does feel like a really good thing, those seeds going far from here, but because the winds are here to support me, the winds are here to teach me, these are here as a support. But the intensity of these winds is going to call for me to be very involved, very in the mix of what I'm doing. This is
It's
not.
time. Yeah, it's time. I like that for you. It's time. There's goals to set in times. So this is me. Sometimes we get in these things. So this morning I looked at my December sales because I always get a little pouty around at the and think, okay, I looked at December sales this year as compared to last year and as compared to 2 years ago. And so this is, oh, they were down this year. And I'm sure nobody's really talking about it, but I think December sales have probably been down in a lot of places, but no one really wants to say that, right? So then I'm thinking like, oh, I should just close the store. Instead of, then I got this wind slap and said, maybe you need to think of a way of getting your store to more people. If you've already sold wind whistles to everybody in your circle, then you need to expand your circle. And or so it's not the time for us to contract. It's the time for us to steady, get a new anchor, and set our sights to it. And I think that just catching myself thinking that way is what I would want to say for you is you've got these beautiful products. If we don't know about them, and how do we buy them, and what are we doing to get them to the people who need them, then we have work to do. And maybe we need a wind to shake that on up for us. She turns like little colors and stuff. You guys have me here. Anyone else want to, and anyone else want to share? Oh, that's a great idea. Lynn's going to get one for her desk. Maybe that's my new. My friend always told me I need a new Nilchi every year in the store, like a new whistle or a new something. Maybe we need to make our wind gyros. Maybe we should have a class in making it. Maybe we'll do a class in
Ooh.
making anchoring and pointing it and me getting a little more clear with it. I did in my new book, there are a few anchor exercises I noticed because I went back through it yesterday. It's a good book, guys. It's a book. It's a good book. It's a real book. It's 70,000 words. All right. All right. Anyone else want to go or we're good? Thank you, Sharon. All right. I'll close up the circle here and oh, Sharon's going to speak or no? Okay. All right. All right. I'm going to close the circle. Let's send up the wind home. And did you see that? Did everyone see the fire tenders video? Wasn't it beautiful? I know it really was it was really beautiful. It had a really nice feeling to it this year. Even though it didn't have some years it's had 100 altars in it, but the 32 or 35 altars in it, you guys showed up with some holding power. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. It showed up, it had a lot of power. I could feel it. All right, I'm sending the winds home. Blessings, everyone.